Yeah,
Timer
Liz
going.
Neely here. She's coming in from New York City. New York City! Wow! How's it going, Liz Mealy? You're at the Wacky Fackies tonight, aren't you?
Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes.
That's
And then
my,
you,
that's my fault. I asked you yes or no questions. First rule of being a DJ is not do that.
I've done like some of the big radio shows like that, and they'll ask you a question and you go to answer and they interrupt you. And you're like, hey, man, you had me come on and you asked me a question. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Oh, I hate those shows. I have nothing kind to say about them. You nailed
Yeah.
it. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. All right, let's start.
Yeah. Hi. Welcome to Two Non-Doctors. I'm Liz Mealy.
I'm Maria Shahada.
How's it going?
I don't know. I'm just like I'm feeling a little tired there, Liz. I'm sorry. I am feeling tired. I'm PMSC. I'm tired. I'm just a little like trying not to be myself. Do you know those days when you're just like myself is awful right now, and I can't be.
I have those days where I'm like, my whole goal is to protect people from me.
Yeah.
Like that's like you know when you make a to-do list where it's like, okay, make sure you do laundry, you got to pay that bill. Literally, it's just like create a barrier either physically or emotionally from people you care about.
Yeah. Since I got off birth control, my periods are returning to what they were before birth control, which was like hell.
Hemorrhaging?
No, not hemorrhaging.
No.
What? But yeah,
That's
it's
all I can think of.
just hell. Just like hormonally, like physically, symptoms wise, everything. Irritability, bloated, angry, tired, fatigued, just all of it. Like, and like I will say this about birth control. Took all that away.
Yeah. But I mean, everything that I've learned is that it's just a Band-Aid. So A, that's why it comes back, and B, it didn't cure anything. Like you already had those symptoms because something was off kilter to begin with, and then birth control just goes, hey, you won't have babies and you won't feel that way. And then when you take it away, it's just you've had X number of years longer where you haven't been aligning your body, and it's made it even more out of whack. I've read books.
Like how you turn that into my fault. Do you know what I mean?
No, I'm not turning it to your fault. I was on birth control for 12 years.
No, that's not what I mean.
know.
Like the hormones are out of whack, which is my fault. You know what I mean?
Not necessarily. I mean,
Okay. I'm sensitive.
our dependency on plastic, like even like everything I did for our topic today just talks about how so much that is in our daily life is a hormone disruptor. Think about half the stuff you pick up and it's like, don't use if pregnant. You know what I mean? And you're just like, that is like extra cautious because you have something growing inside you. But half the time, this stuff is also not great for non-pregnant people. You know
I made lemon cupcakes with lemon icing today, the Betty Crocker kind, and I looked at the box of ingredients, didn't recognize a single thing in it. Like it's just like emulsifiers and citric B number 37X full.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, this is a shit that causes cancer. Like this. I mean, I made the
cancer
cupcakes
in a box. My favorite is where lemon is on the front, but you can't find that word anywhere on the back.
No, they recreated lemon.
Yeah.
They played God and recreated flavors from the natural world and put them in my cupcakes. But anyway, that's this food I ate constantly growing up, and so that's probably why I'm all
short.
No. Bitchy, bloated, angry. No, I didn't mean short at all. But thanks for guessing.
Fucking kill you. I've been pretty much everything on my diet and just the crap that I ate growing up. And then I still eat it. Like I still eat, depending on the day, I'm anywhere from 20 to 50% better. I've had moments where I was 70% better, but those are gone right now.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm okay. I've been going to the gym more. I'm in Florida still, and we go to the gym like around 10 o'clock at night, and there's like maybe one or two other people. And I still wear a mask because it's Florida. But I haven't been even before the pandemic, maybe I would do like a hotel gym here and there, but I haven't belonged to a proper gym. I was doing CrossFit, but again, those were like classes and like somebody's saying, but like treadmill, lifting weights, like the stuff that I used to do when I was in college and like right after college. Like I was just like very regimented about you go 4 days a week and this is what you do, the treadmill, you do this, you do that. And I haven't done that in so long because I either run outside or, like I said, I've found other ways to have that workout regulation. And I fucking forgot how much I love it. Like it sounds so crazy. I like the treadmill. I like this machine does this does this. We're gonna do 2 sets of this. We're gonna look at our phone until we've rested. Like, I don't know. I've been going with my friend Danny, who I'm staying with, and I get weirdly excited where she's like, hey, I got off work early. Do you want to go to the gym? And I was like, yeah. And we've been going on like Fridays and Saturdays. So it's like, I've always struggled that if I don't have shows on a weekend, I don't know what to do with myself. And somehow I'm a failure at life. So it's like a mixture of like, I'm not making money. I'm not doing the thing I want to be doing. And I don't know how to like hang out. And all my friends are comics. So it's like, what else? Like if I'm not doing shows, I'm still ending up at a comedy club, because that's where my friends are.
That's like my social life. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're just like, okay, well now I'm at a comedy club and I'm not working. So that just sucks even more. Clearly with everything going on, it's not as big of a deal because there's nowhere to go. But in general, I found the weekends feel longer during the pandemic than the weekdays because it still has that it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like it still has that, like you should be doing something. So we've been going to the gym. And like I said, Florida's kind of pretending like this isn't happening. So nobody's at the gym. And we're just like, oh, what losers go to the gym on a Saturday? And I was like, us. And then we're like, getting in shape. I don't know. It's just been kind of fun and silly.
There's nothing better than an empty gym. It's the best.
Yeah.
It's the best. I don't understand your love of treadmills, but I never got the high you did from running. So,
well, also treadmills pull you a little bit. So like I love running outside and I've done it, most of my life. But when you decide that you are done running, you just stop. But when you're going to decide to stop running on a treadmill, it's still pulling you for a while. And there's still like a part of you that's like, maybe I shouldn't stop. Maybe I should be doing this. I'm just going to say, and there's something about like, you can get as exhausted as you want and you're still in the same place. Like I've done it. I've gotten like a runner's high and then ended up somewhere where I'm like, I don't even fucking know where the subway is. Like I've got myself lost.
I just think my life is over when I'm on a treadmill.
I understand.
Yeah, but I have gotten into grooves. I think what I need is a compliment. Like, I think I had a boyfriend once tell me when I was running on the treadmill, he was like, you look really good running. And I was like, thanks. And watch this.
Yeah.
It just so it wasn't for me, but like, it was like, if I get complimented, I'll keep it up.
I actually hate, like, that most gyms have the mirrors across from you. And I guess you're supposed to be like looking at your form, but all I'm doing is like pulling apart my looks while sweating. Like I hate them so much. I tried to just focus on the numbers and do like athleticism math where I'm like, oh,
no, that's
keep
good.
running. Yeah.
I don't do that. I look at myself the whole time. And I'm just like, I hate my hips. Well, good thing you're here. That's true.
Announcements?
Announcements.
Yeah. Thanks to all our patrons, everybody that supports us. We appreciate you. If you don't know, we have weekly bonuses now. So for the $5 tier and up, you get a weekly Let's Get Personal bonus that we are basing off. All the questions are from the like 36 questions to fall in love. So I think we've already posted the first 2. But yeah, thank you to you guys. We have tons of bonuses, weekly bonuses, monthly bonuses. You can control our Googles. You can be a Google guest. But yeah, join us.
Follow us on the socials. We're on Instagram at the number 2 non-DRS, and then Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter at 2 the full word doctors. And if you have a moment, leave us a rate and review on Apple Podcasts. It helps us get seen. It helps us feel good. We are like really grateful for the ones we've read so far. They've been really nice, and it helps us out a lot. So if you have a few minutes, we'd love it if you did that.
Yeah. And personal announcements. My book comes out next week, March 30th. Come buy my book. It's called Why Cats Are Assholes. It's on pre-sale right now. I'm going to be in Portland doing outdoor shows April 3rd.
4th? Is it 3rd?
3rd. I think it's the 3rd. It's a Saturday. And then I just booked a weekend in Philly. So I'll be at Punchline Philly Punchline, April 22nd to 24th. It's half capacity, socially distanced, masks, all the stuff.
And you can't see me yet because we're still locked down. Fan mail?
Yeah, fan mail.
All right, we got an email from Konrad, and he says, "Hi, my name is Konrad, and I have something to contribute about your Guys Wide Shut episode. I use he, him pronouns, 25 years old, am cis male, and I'm on the autism spectrum. Listening to your covert depression and challenge of masculinity segment from early Fab has helped me make another step in my self-understanding journey. My elementary, middle, and high school social environments were filled with homophobic and autism spectrum disorder phobic slurs and harassment that was just horrible. The culture was alpha male hierarchy nonsense. Being faster or stronger made you superior. No femininity. I hate that word. Femininity. Saying it, I mean, or you'd be scorched with insults and even physical assault. I faced endless lies, gaslighting, and purposeful exclusion from other boys because they thought I was weird or otherwise unworthy. It was a disgusting time to live. Well, I'm still unpacking all of that, and listening to your episode led me to re-examine my current anxieties around job applications. I figured out that all the lies and disingenuous requests in my past have manifested in my present as an automatic, implicit distrust of new relationships. So even though I am qualified and know I need a job, I still struggle to believe most places will hire me or tell me the truth at all. It's hard to make and hold friendships because of this as well, but I'm trying, especially with therapy. I'm glad to better understand that now, and I thank you for your part in this conversation. My middle school buddies can eat my dust. I'm weird and proud of it every day. I've made it past most of the shit of my childhood. I wear nail polish regularly. I love the feminine parts of myself, and I no longer tolerate bad treatment from anybody. Thanks, Konrad.
I love that so much. Not the
Yeah,
bullying part. That just okay. So I'm staying with my elementary school friend right now, and she reminded me of something. We actually we found all our class pictures, or she did, of all our class pictures because we had 5th and 6th grade together, and then we were looking up everybody from 5th and 6th grade, and there was like a couple of people that I was like, oh yeah, and so we were like talking to it. It was actually very cute, but she reminded me of something, which is 5th grade, 4th or 5th grade, everybody in the entire elementary school had to watch a video about a little person that was transferring to the school. And he basically like made a video that was like, I'm a little person. These are the things that I can do. These are the things I struggle with. I'm just like you. I'm just shorter. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it was basically this like get to know, I cannot remember his name, but I didn't know anybody's name except for truly my friend Danny. I had one friend. It was Danny. But basically, we were in teams. I don't know how other people's, but we were in like teams, and he was never in my team. Like if there was like 4 classes that kind of, he was never in my team, but we would see him in the hallway. But it made him honestly famous and like the coolest kid in school because they took the time to be like, hey, he has these issues. Any questions you have to ask, we're telling you right now, you know, don't be an asshole. And so he ended up being like the coolest kid in school because everybody knew him and they handled it so well. And then also there was a kid in my 6th grade class that was allowed to wear a baseball cap. Like most people, you're not allowed to wear anything, but he had, I don't know if he had alopecia or he had something that made his hair all weird, but he was allowed to wear a cap. The nicest kid. That's like all we talked about. We're like, that kid, I remember just him being the nicest kid. But I found that so fascinating, especially this is what, 1990? I don't know. I think most schools weren't paying attention to stuff and being thoughtful or whatever. But I was like almost proud of my elementary school for like some of these little things that I'm remembering they did to educate and be thoughtful so that what Konrad went through happened less. I'm sure it still happened. Kids are awful and adults are idiots half the time. But it's funny him talking about that. I was just like, oh, I remember the effort. And if that happened today, like if younger kids at a young age, because we were, 10, 11, 12, they were educating us about little people and how to be respectful. Like if they did the same thing with autism, if they did the same thing with, any kind of other disabilities,
I saw the worst like video because somebody wrote to me about misophonia on our Two Non-Doctors thing, and I wasn't sure who she was speaking about, so I Googled it, and there was a video on YouTube of the presenter she was talking about. It was like a morning show host and her husband, and she was like, "Oh, that thing I have, it's called misophonia." But it started the segment with the husband chewing really loudly, like purposefully chewing really loudly, and then like being him just kind of making quips and making fun of it and stuff. And I was like, the comments were turned off for the video, but I was just going to unleash, and I never like comment on anything, but I was just so mad that it was just so, this is why it's a problem. It's because like, it's such a ridiculous sounding thing to have that it's just not taken seriously. It's like, oh, you can't stand it when I do this, I'm going to do it more. And audience members do it to me all the time when I talk about it on stage.
Also, I mean, this always goes back to how I feel about low hanging fruit. You can make fun of anything. I think you can literally make fun of anything, but be fucking funny about it or smart. To hear that I have an issue with like the loud noises or the noises that you have, and for you just to then make that sound, you're just like, what are you, 9? Are you fucking kidding me right now? It just makes me so fucking angry. It just pisses me off. But back to what Konrad was writing in, like I think so many people have that experience of just being bullied because you're any kind of different or you don't fit in, and the fact that he's finding a way to appreciate that part of him instead of continuing to hide it. And what I've noticed more and more is that people, not even just men, but women too, because I think we get our femininity squashed out because it's seen as weak in work and what have you. And I'm starting to like notice how much that I try to dress down or not be girly or what have you, because it's seen as less professional or it's seen as immature, when I'm just like, but I like it. Like, it's nice to me. And I'm a woman, like, and I still feel that kind of pressure. So the fact that he's embracing those sides of him and sticking up for himself, I mean, I think that's like your first sign of healing.
Yeah,
and then
definitely.
Also, nail polish is awesome. Like, it's pretty.
Yeah, we'll probably find out later in the episode what it has in it and how we should be wearing.
No, that is sadly our topic. Conrad's gonna be like, you built me up and then you tore me down, because
sorry,
we're talking about how shitty makeup is today. But thank you, Konrad. We're so happy that was a helpful episode for you.
Thanks, Konrad.
Googles.
Okay.
Go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. I got my new flatmate came in. She was like, does my eye look swollen? And I looked up and it was like such a case of pink eye. I was like, yeah. She's like, it's just, and she starts touching it and I was like, yeah. She's like, what is it? What causes it? I was like, it's pink eye. It's caused by a virus, usually because your fingers were contaminated with poop. I'm not saying that it was her poop. It just could be anywhere. She could have been at a store, anyone's poop. I was like, but stop touching your eye and wash your hands.
Yeah.
So I guess
super
like,
contagious.
Yeah. So I told her that. I was like, so, don't touch your eyes. And if you do touch your eyes, wash your hands. And so she went and washed her hands. It's like she'd never had pink eye before. I've had it a couple times.
I don't know if I've had it, but I remember my little brothers having it.
It just feels like a pimple on the inside of your eyelid, I think. That's what I had. And it's really, really uncomfortable. And your eyelid swells up. And then your whole life is over for the next couple days because you can't go out in public like that. Or do Zoom shows or whatever. Like, what exactly was my Google? I think I just said everything I learned in the Google. It was like, what causes it? It's like a bacteria or a viral infection. And
Is
then
it
you basically
only from poop? Is that the only way to get it?
No. Causes viruses, bacteria, allergies, a chemical splash in the eye, a foreign object in the eye, in newborns, a blocked tear duct. Most cases of pink eye are typically caused by adenovirus, but can also be caused by herpes simplex virus, varicella zoster virus, and various other viruses, including the virus that causes coronavirus. Oh shit.
What?
Oh shit. That's not good, is it?
I get that it's a virus or a bacteria, but it doesn't always have to stem from poop.
It's just fun to say that.
Yeah, no, I'm but what I'm saying is like I'm always worried about it because of contacts. Like, I'm always touching, not always, but I take my contacts in and out, so I'm very aware of washing my hands, cleaning them, putting in a bucket, like, but like, I know there's a lot of things that can go wrong with contacts in that sense, but I don't think I knew that pink eye was one of them.
Yeah. So, and it lasts a couple days, and then you're supposed to put a hot or cold compress on it. And I said, you could use a potato. And she was like, what? And when you say something is just what you've done in the past, and I was like, just like a little baby potato, you can put that in the microwave, and then that's your warm compress. And then I thought about what I was saying, and I was like, I don't know where I got that. It's like, it seemed right.
Did your mom do that?
No, but like I looked it up, and potatoes are just what people use because I think, and I didn't look this up, but I think it's because it holds. No, but that's, but it's because they hold the heat longer than like if you use something else.
Oh yeah, no, I put a potato in my mouth and I was like, ah! It was steaming. I thought somehow my hot mouth would cool off the hot potato, and now I'm like, it's in my mouth, but I want to keep it there. I didn't know. I've never known that. Oh,
which part? The potatoes are
no, that people use potatoes as like a compress, like a hot compress, and that it's because it holds heat. What about the fact that they're dirty? I guess you just scrub them well, or you put them in a plastic bag.
Yeah, you would put it in. I mean, I don't think you could put it directly on your eye because I think that would be too hot. So I think you would have to cover it in a cloth.
Gotcha. Go try that next time.
Just try not to get pink eye in the first place.
Yeah, no, I think knock on something. I think I've done it.
What if it is coronavirus and that's why I'm tired and it's not my period at all? I'm just
I mean, they
Well,
do. I was just gonna say, because like it was always cover your mouth and your nose, but then also like the thing that they don't talk about is your eyes, and that's why like when I fly, I put on a face shield. But you know, it's really any open. Your eyeballs are always
oh
open.
shit. What'd you Google?
I'm like, disaster. What did you Google for the shit? Like having a freak out for the next half hour. Okay, mine is, does being tired make you crave sugar?
I've been craving sugar.
So this is what I noticed. I had a really hard time sleeping a couple days ago. Like one, I was trying to go to bed at 11 o'clock at night, and my body, and like I felt tired, but like I just tossed and turned for hours. Then I finally fell asleep, and then I woke up at 6 a.m. and I couldn't go to sleep again. So I got like 4 hours. It was like horrible. And then the whole day, and I'm a sugar addict. I definitely think of sugar, but I have self-control. Like, I mean, I have a little snack here, I have a little snack there. But this was like all day long. It's all I could think of. Like it was just so aggressive, and it hasn't been like that in a while. And it just kind of freaked. I just really noticed, especially because I think I'm being more aware of the fact that I'm trying to lessen the amount of sugar I take in a day, and I've been pretty good about it. And then this day, like not only did I not do well at it, but like it was like almost like when we were talking in the smoking episode, it was just like incessant. Like I was just like,
Mm.
calm down. Like I was just like, it's so frustrating. And I think I had more awareness. So basically, research shows that sleep deprivation causes an increase in overall hunger, which can lead to cravings of sugar, fat, or both. And then basically a lack of sleep causes hormone shifts. So everything online basically was like, yeah, one of the best ways to kind of control your cravings in general is to have a good night's sleep. But clearly sugar is my MO. So when I was extra tired, but it was just so, and it was only one night of sleep deprivation or like challenging. I just found it so fascinating. The internet was like, yeah, like nobody was like, maybe. It was like, yeah, that's what's happening. And I was like, oh,
100%.
it's so fascinating. And then, you know, slept better the next day, and it was back to normal, regular cravings of sugar, not my like abusive level.
Did you give into it?
Yeah, of course it. I was like, I couldn't focus.
What did
And I
you
was
have?
like, I had soda, I had a Coke, which I don't drink soda very often, and it was awesome. I love chemicals.
Yeah.
Because I just drink seltzer all day, so that gets me in my bubbles, and it's done something for me. But I had a soda, I had a brownie, I had chocolate, I had applesauce.
This is
I'm staying
amazing.
with kids, so they have so many snacks.
Oh, I
I'm like, I had
see.
fruit roll-ups. So
I'm like,
my
what
hair in
the
these pigtails.
fuck's going on?
I had fruit by the foot. Like I had Dunkaroos. Like I just become like a 6-year-old again.
Yeah, seriously, like as you keep going, you just like de-age.
That's actually been the weird thing about like there's so many snacks here, and I would never allow myself to have this many snacks in my house. But like I go to the cupboard and I'm like, the choices are endless. It's like it feel like they have so much like cereal, and I'm like, I love cereal. Like I've had so much cereal since being here, because I'm just like, how do you say no to
Cereal's so
cereal?
good. What kind of cereal?
Lucky Charms. It hurt my stomach.
Oh, so
It was
good.
awesome until it really hurt my stomach, but it was
Love
awesome
Lucky
until then.
Charms.
Oh my God. And then cinnamon roll frosted mini wheats. Not as good. I like the regular mini wheats, but this was cinnamon roll flavored frosted mini wheats. Just like chemicals on chemicals on chemicals. And while I was
Yeah.
eating it, I was like, I don't know if I like these chemicals. And I'm like, still eating the chemical. I told Danny, I was like, hey, I don't think I like this, but it's good enough. But I still had milk. So she's like, but you're still eating it. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to waste milk. I'm a good person.
I miss Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Cinnamon Life, because they don't have Cinnamon Life here. They don't have Cinnamon Toast Crunch. They might. I don't think they do have Cinnamon Toast
Cinnamon
Crunch.
Toast
They have like
Crunch.
this cinnamon and Grammy. It was like a graham cracker cinnamon thing, but it's not
So the
Cinnamon
same.
Toast
I think we
Crunch.
tried it. I think last time
Yeah.
I was there, we tried it, and we were both like, I mean, I'll eat it, but it's not.
Yes, that's exactly what it was. I mean, I'll eat it, but it's not
Yeah.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
But it's not hitting the receptors of happiness the way Cinnamon Toast
Yeah.
Crunch is. The problem with all those sugary cereals is like while I'm eating them, I'm like, this was the right choice. All right, so let's get personal. The question is, what's the best meal you've ever had? And by that, I mean like literally you have strong memories tied to it.
You want to go first?
So this is the funny part about it. I think I'm such a sugar addict. I can't think of any meals. It's all dessert. All of
Okay.
my memories are dessert.
Okay, we've had a lot of meals together.
No, but I
I've
mean,
made
like,
you a lot of meals.
I actually, you know what? I would say those breakfast salads you used to make in LA have a real big impact on me. And I think about them a lot. And when I go to like salad places, I'm like, these aren't breakfast salads. Like I just get like all frustrated. I'm like, you don't know.
Nobody makes a breakfast salad. You'll
Yeah.
never
I was
find
like,
that here.
where are the apples and the eggs? You don't know what you're doing.
Right. I can't believe I made such lovely
They were
salads
good.
because it was like coconut oil was part of the dressing. So it was like lemon juice, coconut oil, and then bacon. And that like you needed that bacon to cut through the lemon juice and coconut oil and vice versa. It was just
But it was like
so fucking
apples,
good.
eggs. It sounds weird, but it was
Celery,
delicious.
walnuts, just like, yeah.
Fucking crunchy madness of greatness. So I can't think of, this is going to sound silly. All my meals, by the way, are with you. Because you opened me up to greatness. We went to a Thai place in Hell's Kitchen, and I got this like weird ground beef stuff. And I found it in other places. The place shut down, by the way. But we went to this restaurant, and it was like this ground beef. It was a Thai place, and it had this ground beef thing, and it was so fucking good. And I was so happy because I always get the same thing. I always get like pineapple fried rice or, you know, pad thai, like just something fucking white girl basic. And this felt like I was exploring, and it turned out to be so good that you were jealous of my meal. And then I went
think
there.
that I swear to God, that's why you like that meal so much. It probably
Okay.
was good, but because I was jealous of it, you were like,
Yeah.
I won.
And you were like you were proud of my ordering, which is like the highest compliment in the food world to me. And then I went back one other time with my brother, and it was also delicious. And then I tried to go again, and it was gone. And I was like, no. And I found it in other places, but it was never as good as that first place.
It never is, right? And like you said it's not there, by the way, or it closed down, by the way. I don't think you realize like when I hear a restaurant that I love has closed down, you might as well have been like, your friend got shot, by the way. Anyway, it had this like, you know what I mean?
He's dead now, but what I want to talk about is
I was like, oh no. I don't think this is possible for me to answer this question. I have so many memories tied to so much food, like eating fuck, what are they called? It starts with a K, and they're dumplings when I was in Georgia, the country. Just like cuz like there's soup dumplings, right?
oh
And like
yeah.
you bite into them. I've tried to teach you how to eat these, and
Yeah,
you
no,
can
I've
burn
always
your
messed up.
face off. You can burn
Yeah.
your face off. But if you don't, so worth it. So good. But then when I was like 19, my first boyfriend took me to this Indian restaurant, and that's what got me into Indian food. And ever since then, I haven't had Indian food as good as that place. I have so many memories tied to food. I don't think I could just tie it down to just like one.
I find it even interesting that some of them aren't even memorable in the sense that it was a bonding experience. It was just so fucking good. It like changed how I felt about food. Like I had bibimbap with you, and now like if I see the word bibimbap, I'm like, we need to get it. Like we had it, I think in the UK.
Yeah.
And it was so fucking good, and I had never heard of it. And it's just fun to say bibimbap. I'm sure I'm saying it wrong too.
Bibimbap.
And bibimbap. But I think about it all the time. I love it so much. Or my favorite memory, and it's just embarrassing. I was in Bergen, Norway, and everything in Norway is so fucking expensive. I'm struggling to find stuff that I eat. Some have English menus, some don't. So anyway, somebody recommended this restaurant, and I had enough time before my show to go. And it's like, there's a bookstore next to it. It's so beautiful. I did not realize how expensive this meal was. So I eat it. It's like fish and like mashed potatoes. It was it was the best fish I've ever had, the best mashed potatoes. The person came to check in on me, and I was angry. I was like, yeah, I'm fine. Like it was the first time I ate alone and I didn't care because I was like so enmeshed in this amazing meal. And then I got the bill, and I was like, okay. And I'm trying to do, cause you know, it's like all kroner. So it's just like, I think you can do a lot of like, if it's 20 kroner, it's about $20. My math might be off on that, but it's something like that where it's like, it's a little bit like that. So it can at least get a roundabout thing. So if it's like 20, maybe it's like $25. I think I paid $45 for that meal. Like I did the math, and I was like, so I had this amazing moment, and then I'm walking to do my gig, and I'm like, holy fuck, is that and I'm like doing the conversions on my phone. And I'm like, no, I did it like 3 times and found out I paid probably $45 for that meal. And it was like, I've never paid more than I think $20. And
I've never made money in Norway. It's more expensive than London. So whatever you're getting paid at the club, you're spending on just being alive. So yeah. But that saying that, the fish is great there. Like I had a sardine sandwich, and I've never had fresh sardines before. My dad used to go on and on about fresh sardines and stuff because I was like, sardines are gross, because I'm just used to tinned sardines or canned sardines or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I had this fresh sardine sandwich, and I was like, I called my dad. I was like, I get it. I get why you miss them. I get having fresh is so much better. I mean, look, in the time we've been talking, I've thought about maybe 57 different meals that I've had that are noteworthy. Like there's too much. There's too much. This question is impossible.
I thought it was a layup for you, and I feel like I've hurt you somehow.
No, it's going to be one of those things where I'm going to have to like come back to you next week and be like, I've been weighing it out.
Okay. This will be our intro for next episode. You will tell me about, can I tell you 2 funny stories though?
Yeah.
I discover food that everybody knows about in the wrong place. So like I discovered fish tacos in like Tennessee or something, like a place that I shouldn't be eating their fish. But like I had never had fish tacos before, and I was at a time where I could only have, it's still true, I can't have breaded stuff. I can only have grilled stuff. And so a lot of fish tacos that I find seem to be breaded. So it was this grilled fish taco, and probably not even a great place, but I was like, these are freaking good. And I remember my friends ordering them for years, and I'm like, gross. And then I had them, and I was like, I couldn't even focus on the meat. I was like, this is fucking delicious. And now I'm obsessed with fish tacos. But that was not the first place to like, I probably had the worst fish tacos to discover that I like fish tacos. The second thing is I was touring, I think in Egypt. I was doing a military tour. No, it wasn't Egypt. I think it was Jordan or Turkey. I can't remember. We were on a locked base, meaning that everybody on the base had not left this base in over a year. They had 3 restaurants on the base. Nobody left. They couldn't go anywhere. It was like pretty super dangerous even to be on the base. One of the guys was like, people either get fit or get fat. There's nothing to do here. It's pretty much how people talk about the pandemic, but you're on a base and you see the same, hundreds of people. And there's 3 restaurants. And they took us to the nice restaurant after our show. The food was good, blah, blah, blah. And this colonel, sergeant, I don't know, some higher up person was like, you got to get the cheesecake. And I was like, I'm actually not a cheesecake person. He's like, no, you got to get the cheesecake. So I was like, all right, what cheesecake do you have? He's like, we have lemon and we have this other one. I'm not a cheesecake fan. And every time I've tried it, I was like, I'll try the lemon. It's the best cheesecake I've ever had. Sure. It's this lemon cheesecake that I think about, and I just wander grocery stores and restaurant. Every time I go to a restaurant, they're like, we have cheesecake. I'm like, do you have lemon cheesecake? And they're like, no, we have a da-da-da. And I'll be like, do you have cheesecake? And they'll be like, we have a lemon meringue pie. I'm like, I don't want your fucking lemon meringue pie. I want this lemon. I found something similar in the UK. Like the GU things, the GU things are somewhat similar because we got the lemon ones, but it was on a military base in like Turkey or Jordan that I discovered lemon cheesecake, and I think about it most days.
That's great. And that's awesome. Kinkali was the dumpling I was trying to think of, and Elena, she makes this honey cake that is the most delicious thing I've ever had, and it's made with honey instead of sugar, and it's like a crepe cake. Have you ever had a crepe cake?
I think so.
I might have taken you to the Japanese bakery.
Yeah.
And then it had the green tea crepe cake, so it's like cream, green tea, and matcha. So it's that, but without green tea. It's like honey, and like it's just, it takes her like all day to make, and it's like 8, 9, 10 layers of crepes. She was like, have you had this before? It's like, yeah, I think so. And then she got offended like immediately, like, if you've had it before, it wouldn't be, I think so. And she was fucking right. As soon as I took one bite out of this, I was like, I've never had this before. Because you're right, I would have known. Like, this is incredible. So and next time we go to Sweden, we have to try it. I mean, she has to make it. I'd have to convince her. But
we have to give her like a 3 days heads up. Sponsor time. This week's episode is sponsored by Curious Elixirs. I'm excited about them. So I got introduced to them because I did a Valentine's Day show, and they were the sponsor for the Valentine's Day show, and they sent me 2 cases. And what's exciting for me is I haven't drank in 5 years. We've talked about it a bunch on the podcast. So at first I was like confused, where they're just like, we'll send you the stuff. And I was like, I don't drink. My roommates don't drink. And they're like, no, it's booze free. And I was like, I got all excited. I was like, I never get to use this kind of stuff. So anyway, they have 4 flavors. I tried, number 1 is this bitter orange and pomegranate. It was really good. And I'm also, you as a bartender and as somebody that's like more into like mixing and stuff, I feel like you understand this stuff more, but I've never tried any of these kind of things before. So it's like I don't know. I got really into it. I was just like, I'm just gonna make a little curious elixir.
Miss Sophisticated Liz Mealy.
Yeah, I went from my little seltzer to just being like, excuse me, I'm winding down with a beverage.
I'm really excited. I'm excited that like being sober has become so cool now, because that means like stuff like this is coming out more. It's booze free, it's organic, it's got no added sugars in it, and then they have like drinks that are inspired by like spicy margarita, the Aperol spritz, and the Negroni. Negroni was my hand to heart. Negroni is my favorite after old fashioned and Manhattans. Like I had a lot of favorites, but anyway, I'm so excited about this. So there's like no added sugar, and they have adaptogens, which we talked about in another episode. My favorite.
Talked about adaptogens, guys.
So if you wanted to try it, you can actually get a free bottle of the elixirs if you spend $50 or more by putting in the promo code 2NON-DRS at checkout.
So that's, where is that? CuriousElixirs.com.
If you go to CuriousElixirs.com, it's CuriousElixirs.com, promo code 2NON-DRS, free bottle.
Thanks, Curious Elixirs. Okay, so our topic this week is makeup and the toxicity of makeup. Sorry, Konrad. Especially because I've always known nail polish is not great for you. And it's one of the girliest things. I've always loved nail polish for as long as I can remember. I was in a bathroom in middle school. I didn't have any friends. I had moved. So I met Danny in elementary school. So she moved to Tennessee and I moved to a different part of New Jersey. So I was in a new school system. I didn't have any friends. And I saw these two girls putting on eyeliner. And I just watched them in a bathroom, just watching these girls put on eyeliner. But they would put eyeliner on the inner rim, and that's how I learned. And I almost rarely put it on the top of your eyelid. It's so much worse for you on your inner rim, but that's how I was taught.
I used to watch my middle school friend. She would take a lighter to the eye pencil and heat it so that it was all melty, and then put it on the inner rim of the bottom part of the eye. And that's how I learned.
That is some voodoo shit. That's crazy.
It went on smooth, but I mean, like, you have like eyeliners that are like liquid now, but
yeah, because if you're gonna put on in the rim and you have that, because now they're like, because I like the charcoal ones, the ones that are like a softer, and that's how you're able to do that. And I was an eyeliner person. I don't even think I cared about mascara. My thing has always been eyeliner. So I would do like my whole eyeball, like just the whole thing. And it always kind of gives you like a dark, don't approach me look, which I loved. And it wasn't until maybe 8 years ago that a comic who's also a makeup artist was like, you have big eyes. Like if you want to accentuate them and make them, don't do your full eye, because that actually closes it. You should only do the top and then have something white or like lighter at the bottom. Someone has to stop me and specifically be like, you do this. This is how you do it. And then I listened.
But, I mean, I wouldn't like be hard on yourself. I think we all learned to do the eyeliner that way. It was the 90s, and that's just what it looked like. But this isn't about how to do makeup.
I was just introducing, our relationship to it.
I didn't wear makeup today. It was out of laziness, but I'm like, we're doing a makeup show, so I don't need it.
Yeah. Well, also I've learned so much from this. So, okay. So on basic level of toxicity, I've always known that what absorbs into our skin is important to know what it is and be careful of it, because it's literally, your skin is your biggest organ. It's absorbing into it and it can cause problems. It goes into the bloodstream, blah, blah, blah. So in general, I've always known these things, but not followed them. So like one of the big things is like, pay attention to expiration dates. And I'm like, I just got rid of middle school makeup like 2 years ago, because a lot of it has to do with bacteria. So a good example is mascara is super gross. So you take the mascara wand out, you put it on, it's touching. Yeah. This has all bacteria and shit. Then you put the bacteria back in there. It's a moist environment. Now they put in preservatives and shit like that to help control that, but it can only do so much. And so if you're not paying attention to that 3-month expiration date, then it's a time bomb of whatever. And again, this stuff is touching you. So what I've actually learned from that, my thing is I never buy the full tubes. I always buy the sample, like small travel size ones.
Oh, that's smart.
Because that way I'm actually following the 3-month rule.
I don't think you need to. I think 3 months is if you use it every day.
the expiration date has nothing to do with how much you use it. The expiration date has to do with the product itself. I don't know if decomposing is the right word, but breaking down and not being either.
I bought a mascara that was like $65 and that was 2 years ago, but I barely use it, but I'm not throwing it away because it was my whole life savings.
Yeah, no, and that was not the best choice, but wasn't smart.
You know when you get your makeup done in the mall and then you just kind of feel bad and you're like, yeah, I'll get that. And they're like $65 and you're like, oh, that's yeah, I love that.
That's completely within my budget. That's great. I was hoping you would say that.
The mascara was the consolation prize. It was like, well, I'll get something.
We're gonna have to work on your nose where you go, thank you so much for your time. That is outside my, I say that's outside my budget. And sometimes like I'm already preparing it and they're like, it's $6. And I'm like, well, that's outside my budget.
I almost got Invisalign yesterday because I didn't know how to say no to a dentist because I went to get a consultation.
It's like a $5,000 investment because you don't know how to say no. Jesus Christ, Maria. I've learned that when I'm in that situation where I'm not sure or it's financially outside of my means, that I do this thing where I just go, you know what? Let me talk to my friend about this because I think she's interested. And let me see. And like that way they get excited. They're like, oh my God, maybe I convinced 2 people. And they kind of let you go a little bit more. Huh?
You fuck with them.
I don't fuck with them, but I feel so like peer pressure to get something that they kind of like claw on you. And if you go, hey, let me get my friend, I think she might be interested and that will help me. And then it just, I don't feel like, no, they're too pressury for me to feel like I'm fucking with them.
Yeah. I mean, anyway, that's kind of a red light for me.
It's mute.
Feeling like I'm pushed. What?
No. The point is mute. Not your mic is mute.
It's moot. It's a moot.
Oh, is it moot?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
MOOT.
That's where I get sad.
You yelled it's mute at me and I was like, oh. I went to check my microphone.
I've always thought it's the point is mute.
Mute.
Like listening. Well, this is a sad realization. All right, let me run some facts by you and we'll talk. A recent study detected arsenic, mercury, lead, and other toxic metals in most cosmetics that we get today. Almost everything I've learned about how toxic most of our products are is because my friends had kids and then they find out that shit's in baby products. Like that's what's crazy. Is like the most vulnerable time in your life is when you're a little baby and they put it in baby product. Like that's what's like fucked up. But the fact that we're putting all this stuff on our body and it's all to make us like feel prettier or feel more confident or whatever. And it's just in the long term actually hurting our skin, but even in the longer term causing cancer and thyroid like so many different problems. Okay, so the most toxic beauty products. Are you ready?
Oh yeah.
Number 1, and I just got into it, so it's a little upsetting. Perfume.
I wanted to bring up perfume because is it the perfumes that are in lotions and shit, or is it also perfume?
There's 2 things that are a problem. The fragrance itself, because you know how something says fragrant, like you buy like a lotion and it says fragrance. That's an umbrella term for like God knows how many chemicals, and they're just able to say fragrance, but that has so many fucking issues. But then it's the perfume to stick to you. That thing, I forget what that chemical is called, super bad for you. Yeah, synthetic fragrance, perfume, umbrella term for hundreds of chemicals. The phthalates, PHTALATES. Hides under fragrance. So it's one of the things that hides under fragrance, but it helps perfume stick to your skin as well as eyelash adhesive and nail polish. It's an endocrine disruptor, facilitating early puberty in girls and boys and reduces sperm count and is harmful for the environment. So it's like one of the biggest culprits, and it's a thing that helps it stick to you, but it's one of the biggest culprits in like just fucking with your hormones and stuff. So I've always had sensitive skin, and most of my products are fragrant free because it irritates my skin. But what I'm learning more and more is that fragrance, which again is this big, huge, vague term, is in everything, and it causes bigger problems than just reaction. You know what I mean? Than just rashes and what have you. So perfume is number 1. Foundation is number 2.
Well, what are you gonna do? Gotta cover up the imperfections somehow. I'm not giving that up. Don't even talk to me about what it does to my hormones. Move
No, so
along. Move along.
that's not the point of this podcast. We are buzzkill. Our podcast is 2 buzzkills. You should be eating healthier, everybody.
And meditate.
So number 6 is SPS Foundation, and they used my foundation that I use as an example of it being bullshit, and I was like, damn it.
Oh.
Okay, so number 2 is foundation. We'll talk in more detail about why. Number 3 is mascara. That goes back to what I was saying before, is that not only does it have parabens and some retinol acetate, but the bacteria that can build up because of it being on your face and then putting it back in. Number 4 is lip gloss. Thank God we're not teenage girls.
I wear lip gloss all the time.
Do you?
All
Put
the time.
it down. Maria, put
What's
it
wrong
down.
with it? What's wrong with it?
We are adults. I'll get to later what's wrong with it. We're doing a countdown.
We are adults, she says, with the fucking pigtails, your ponytails on the side.
My hair is dirty.
We are adults.
Nail polish is number 5. Number 6 is SPF Foundation. What was interesting about the SPF Foundation is they basically said that it's kind of bullshit, that the amount of SPF that's in it, you would have to wear so much foundation for the, like mine is like 30 SPF or whatever. I would have to glob it on for it to get me, like, it doesn't do anything. Like, so it gives you a very minor coverage. So you're doing better.
That feels illegal. They shouldn't like mislead you to the point where it's going to cause you cancer.
You can't put on enough for it to actually help you. BB cream, I don't exactly know what that is.
Blemish balm, otherwise known as blemish balm or beauty balm. BB cream is a makeup product formulated with skincare benefits that include hydration, anti-aging properties, and SPF protection. So it looks like it's a foundation that just has a bunch of shit in it.
Yeah. Number 8 is eyeliner, which is a bummer. It's like my favorite beauty thing. Lip liner. Number 10 is blush. Number 11 is concealer. This is just, to me, this is so funny because this is everything that we put on our face like every day. 12 is CC cream. I don't know what that is either.
Color correcting.
Oh, thank you. You're so smart.
It's in the same article.
13 is brow liner. 14 is setting powder, and 15 is bronzer. Everything that we use to make up our face. So I was never a makeup everyday kind of person. Maybe when I was younger, but I've always been so lazy, and I feel really grateful for it. I remember when I first started doing stand-up, I never wore it for school. I would roll out the same way I do our podcast, and I'm getting slightly better, is the same way that I would treat high school. I would get up 10 minutes before the bus came. I would brush my teeth. I would throw on clothes that were probably on the floor, and I would go to school in a daze. And I would shower at night. I was really depressed, but I just couldn't motivate myself to do anything more. And I always looked at girls that like wore makeup and looked pretty at school. Same with when I was in college and I was doing internships. I would look at these girls that looked so put together, but I just couldn't get my shit together enough to because like this takes forever. You know, your hair takes forever, the makeup, like it all just took at least an hour of planning. And I never wanted to sacrifice. I was always so tired and like overwhelmed. So I always was pretty much makeup free, except for nighttime activities, which was stand up. I always looked like shit during the day. And then I would wear makeup for a couple of hours at night. And I actually think maybe that was what's been good about my skin, because they say wearing makeup every day is horrific for you. It ages you faster. It's horrible for your pores. It's covering up stuff to make you feel more confident, but in the long run, it's doing more damage. So I find it almost interesting that my laziness has somehow protected me over time. But then when I started doing stand up and, you know, you're on stage, people are looking at you, blah, blah, blah. I started wearing it every day, but then my laziness kicked in. So then I only wore it when I got paid. And then I started getting paid work during the week. So then I only wore it on the weekends. And now I only wear it if I'm headlining.
Eyeliner for headliner. Am I right?
That's my new tour. Now, the other thing that I didn't do that was bad is that I slept with my makeup on for years. And that's horrific.
Oh, and that all just canceled out. Every good thing you ever did for your skin just fucking canceled out right there.
It's really bad for you. I also used to not take my contacts out at night. And
I feel like I just walked right up to you and went off that high horse, off of it.
Just smacked me down. Get off your fucking pedestal. I want to tell you some of the things to look out for that are like super bad. Some of them you kind of know. Okay, so formaldehyde, which I think everybody kind of knows that's like when somebody dies and they're preserving the body, pretty sure that's formaldehyde. But I've always known that like chemical straighteners, like hair straightening products, nail polish, keratin treatments, there's certain ones that have
They
formaldehyde.
have formaldehyde. That's the shit that works. That's
Yeah,
when you go to the hairstylist from Brazil, because she fucking knows, and she's not substituting it for the keratin treatments. Because the Brazilian treatment with the formaldehyde's where it's at. It's good.
Yeah,
It's
but
good.
didn't it ruin your hair?
No.
It didn't.
I mean, the curls didn't come back like
The
naturally.
same.
Yeah, but that's the same with like bleach or any kind of treatment for your hair.
Yeah. Okay, so
I
we
had like
talked about
white girl
synthetic.
hair. I had like white girl hair.
I'm proud of you. Glad that worked out. It's that you said it twice that I was like, oh, she didn't get the reaction she wanted.
I didn't know if you didn't hear it the first time because the way Zoom, like sometimes when you talk over each other, there's like one. Am I yelling at you? I can't tell.
No, I'm listening. It just made me laugh because you're like, I had
your
white
body
girl
like
hair.
your body
I'm like backing away from the camera.
I know. I was like, I'm sorry if I'm yelling. I can't tell what this microphone does. But I didn't know if I'd been cut out because you didn't say anything. So I was like, I'll just say it again. That was a mistake.
Congrats on your white girl hair.
So glad I edit this.
Okay, parabens is one of those things that, like, as somebody that starts to get, like, I make sure, we've always talked about, I try to always get the SLS free toothpaste and soap and stuff like that. But with SLS free, the sodium laurate sulfate free stuff, it always says no parabens. And I actually never knew what parabens were. So parabens, the butyl propyl ethanol parabens, linked to it's linked to hormone disruptor. Both the EU and the FDA say it's safe because in small amounts, because most stuff has 0.4%. I've seen more and more labels say no parabens out of everything that it just feels like it's not safe. Mineral oil, it's common in lip gloss, concealer, eyeshadow, SPF, and balm cleansers. It's a byproduct of petroleum, and it can go by paraffin, and it can carry carcinogenic impurities. So I think that's one of the things that lip gloss has a bad name for. PEGs, it's polyethylene glycol. This is the worst episode for anybody.
You did this to yourself.
I did do this to myself. It's irritating to the skin. Also, so basically it's like a chemical thickener, and it's found in like cream-based products. Siliconics, aka silicones. A lot of stuff is just like not great for the environment, and it's the endocrine disruptors. I actually should have looked up what an endocrine disruptor
The
is.
endocrine system sounds like a big system. So let's look it up. I'll look it up while you do that. Yeah, endocrine.
Please. Oh, this is good for like because we're all like addicted to sanitizers and stuff. Triclosan. It's an antimicrobial ingredient found in hand sanitizers and antibacterial soap. It's linked to a significant impact in the thyroid and reproductive hormones, and it's banned in several countries. The U.S. has moved to take it out of antiseptic soap, but it still shows up in deodorant, mouthwash, shaving cream, and toothpaste. So there's also, I've always known that certain hand sanitizers are like also not great. Like, yes, you get the bacteria is not there, but then you're trading it for something else. Did you find out?
Okay, so the endocrine system is your hormonal system.
Oh, okay.
And endocrine disruptors are chemicals linked with developmental, reproductive, brain, immune, and other problems. So they're found in everything, like you were just saying. And then how do people encounter endocrine disrupting chemicals? Food and beverages consumed, pesticides applied, cosmetics used. In essence, your contact with these chemicals may occur through diet, air, skin, and water. Even low doses of endocrine disrupting chemicals may be unsafe. The body's normal endocrine functioning involves very small changes in hormone levels, yet we know even these small changes can cause significant developmental and biological effects. What are they? That's what I want to know. Can alter the body's sensitive systems and lead to health problems, which are, they don't go into it.
Just in general, your hormones kind of affect everything.
Yeah.
It's literally how your body functions.
You brought up... What are you supposed to do? Like not live? You know what I mean?
No, I mean, it's because all this stuff is so overwhelming. It's slowly just being cognizant of it and then slowly pulling it out a little bit more and more. Like a lot of my awareness of this stuff started with the fact that I was just uncomfortable. Like, you know, I took out SLS because my hands were always so dry and they would crack in the winter, and it was literally painful. And as soon as I took SLS out of that, and then I had toothpaste was making my gums hurt and they were inflamed, and I took SLS out of that. Like, so it was just started with uncomfortableness, and you're like, first I started just like my skin is sensitive and I'm having problems with it, but then you find out that the long-term effects of it or what have you. So like, even I still have my foundation and I use it, but I got that Dr. Jart color correcting cream. It was like, people went nuts about it on TikTok. It was like out of stock, but basically it goes on green, it corrects redness, and it then turns into a beige. I'm wearing it right now. You're welcome, everybody. What's cool about it, which I didn't know when I bought it, I literally got it because it was like, it's good for you. It gets me away from my foundation. It free of sulfates, parabens, formaldehydes, everything that we kind of listed, mineral oils, the whatever, like literally 10 of the main culprits in that we're basically talking about today. I still have my foundation. I still wear it. Also, in general, my lifestyle, and this isn't for everybody because I know people work a 9 to 5, I don't need to wear makeup all day. I often wear makeup for a couple of hours. And I think these things about it's still absorbing into your skin, and that's not great, but like taking this stuff less and less in your body, I think is always important. I've always known that plastic is not great for women and is a hormone disruptor or whatever. So like having, what was it, the BPA free plastic? You know what I mean? If I have the choice, I'll go for a glass over plastic. To me, this isn't like you're fucked and you're going to die and you're fucking yourself. It's like you just pay attention a little bit more. Like, so like some of the things that I was saying, and there's tons of others, by the way, like we just can't get to all of them. What is helpful to me? So I like Sephora, and like Sephora has this green label to show if anything has that little clean green label on it, it basically shows the 50 most questionable ingredients isn't in it. And then it's just taking care of yourself. You know what I mean? Wearing makeup less in general. I think, love yourself. Love yourself. My laziness has somehow protected me, but in general, why am I putting on makeup just to go to the grocery store? I don't give a fuck about these people. They said just going 2 days a week without makeup can make your skin look healthier and younger. Make sure you never work out with makeup. That's just bad news. Make sure you throw it out when it expires. I'm slowly getting better at that. Eyeshadow is my hardest one because eyeshadow lasts forever. Oh, there's also things, so like pencil, like with eyeliner, I've always known this, pencil sharpeners help get that layer of bacteria and stuff off. So anything that you can sharpen is also great. Washing your brushes is always helpful. And a lot of this just has to do with like bacteria, since you had your pink eye Google,
I didn't have pink eye, if anyone's tuning in late. Like this is live.
Who tunes in late? This isn't a radio show. I don't have pink eye, just want everybody to know.
I don't like any of their banter. I want to get right to the topic.
Yeah, fuck the Googles. I learned nothing from the Googles. What I learned late in life, you're not supposed to share makeup. I feel like that's such a girl thing to share makeup, but
I always thought it was kind of gross, but yeah.
Not all drugstore brands are the worst, but a lot of these lists, I stopped using like Wet n Wild and some of these kind of really cheap like middle school brands. I call them middle school brands. First of all, they never stay on well. They're always like the eyeliner's already bleeding like 2 minutes after you put it on. When they're like $3, you're like, what is in this? Is asbestos clumped together to make a pencil. Like you're just like, Jesus Christ. I don't say all drugstores because drugstore brands, but there's just like some of these umbrella companies. You know how like Unilever is like owns like a million companies. You just find out they just don't fucking care. So it's just like, this is where like if you have the money or you can put it towards something, cleaner products. Like every year I pick one thing to try to make a little bit cleaner, but it's hard to do it all at once because it's also fucking expensive. For dudes that don't wear makeup, it's about being acknowledging like SPF stuff. Like I think a lot of moms, I feel like we're on that bandwagon where they're just like, this SPF is poison. They're just like, it's just so confusing. Where do you go from like, I don't want to get sunburn and get skin cancer, but I also, this has like carcinogens in it.
Wait, what do you do about that?
I don't know. There's certain brands that are slightly less shitty, but I don't know what they are. I didn't do that research.
Basically, the less ingredients, the better. Is that kind of the rule of thumb?
Like with food, it's always like eating ingredients you can pronounce. I don't know if that's completely true for products. Like chemicals, there are safe chemicals. I don't know how to say that, not sounding stupid, but there are chemicals that are safe and fine, but it's just about knowing which ones. But I didn't do enough research on the SPF, if I'm being honest.
That's okay. We liked it. You know what we do here? We pose the question, up to you to figure it out.
Tell us about SPFs.
Write to us.
But yeah, I would love to hear if anybody that's been on the journey of finding makeup that's been less toxic for them, if they have had any like reactions and found out that it was like a bigger cause, like it wasn't just like a skin reaction, it was some like bullshit thing that some makeup was happening to them. But yeah, you can write to us at 2non-doctors, that's 2 non full word doctors at gmail.com. And thanks for listening, guys.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye.